Alright you guys, it's my Max 6 and we are back at the East Coast Mecca and I'm so happy this is my last shoot of the day and for a second time I get Roxy. How are you?
I'm great. So glad to be shot by you yet again.
And so exciting. Your video was a hit. The first time we shot last July, tons of hits. And I'm sure people are going to be so glad to have you back. You're getting ready for a show. When is the show?
June 10th. I'm
June
doing
10th.
the Omaha Pro.
Wow.
This should be an interesting little mix because I'm bringing a different package than I did last time.
Okay.
So much so that I can't wait to get on stage. Usually I'm like the last person, I could care less. This time I'm like, woo, I gotta see what I look like underneath the lights.
It's exciting. So you're excited this time.
Oh,
that's
totally
awesome.
Totally excited.
All right, so we're at the East Coast Mecca. Big Steve was nice enough to have us over here. What are we training today, Roxy?
Today we're doing shoulders, basically showing people points and not necessarily about heavy, but more about angles and details and my specialty, hurting yourself completely to the point of pain without actually injuring your joints.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna follow you in there and then we'll talk a little bit at the end.
Okay.
All right, Roxy.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do today is side laterals, basically because everything is about an illusion on stage. So what I like to do is start with the thing that makes me look like I'm wider, when in actuality I'm really just like mad small. So usually I use side laterals as a warm-up, and not just any side lateral with a complete contraction at the top, holding for a count of 2, 25 reps, so that I get an instant burn. Anything I do after that will inform my muscles of what I want to do coming up. How's that? Cool? It's always controlled movement, holding for a count of 2. Get the blood in the area, nothing heavy. Mainly because your shoulders, while they're big muscles, they're held together by 4 points, and those 4 points are your rotator. If you go ahead and ruin them trying to lift something too heavy and that you can't control, you'll actually wind up messing up your rotator. In which case, then it stops you from having the ability to lift anything at all ever again. So because we don't like to ruin things that we need, we keep everything pointed and controlled. So what you're seeing me do right now is a very slow and controlled, with a hold, a pause at the top, lateral raise. Putting as much blood in the area as is humanly possible. A warm-up is usually 25 reps. Depending on the day, could be 50. But today, because I'm holding it, you're only getting a good 25, if you're lucky. That's it, is your 25. Okay, so what we're about to do now, what I'm going to do, is called a quarter lateral. Basically, a quarter lateral only works as supraspinatus, meaning the smallest, the thing that's responsible, the rotator that's responsible for lifting the arm. So mainly it's right here, and it's a little lip, and it does about right there. As much as this, that's your supraspinatus. The job here is to super fatigue your supraspinatus, forcing as much blood in that area to start off what would be the end of your lateral raise. Okay, so now when you get to about right here to do your lateral raise, there's so much blood in the area that the only thing left to get filled in is your little delt, which will then give you the effect of a full boulder, okay, which is what we really want. Okay, so here we go. And what you'll notice is the range of motion is very tight. It's not a big movement, and essentially what you're doing is asking your supraspinatus to move as much as it can, which is in a very big movement. So we'll do this for about 10. Open each one. It's not a big movement. Then we move down. Keep it moving all the way down the road. We're doing another 10. As you get higher in weight, extend when you start, keeping the tension on the supraspinatus. This one will go for 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. This is for 15. Notice it's getting wider. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This, sadly, oh my Lord, it's gonna be for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last thing you're gonna do is you're going back to your original point. These suckers at this moment suck. So we're going for 25. Again, full range of motion. Now you're using all the blood that's in your middle delt from your supraspinatus to help you lift. Lousy 5, as you can see, this is getting to be a pain in my ass. So now this is 15, I believe, last 10, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, looks suspiciously like quarter lateral. 4, 3, 2, 1. So when's this part of the procedure? What you get is that I don't want to cheat my middle delt by using somebody else other than the right muscle group. So what happens is, while the first ones might be here, as my middle delt can't lift, it goes right back to the very beginning, the quarter lateral. But if you notice my middle delt, it's now further out than when we started, which is the point. Okay, this is my favorite piece of equipment actually. This is a reverse pec deck, right? I mean, it's normally a pec deck, but I'm using it in the reverse form for your rear delts. I have 3 standard ways of doing it. First, and the main way that I actually do this, period, is to never use the support. Ever. Why? Because I'm greedy. I like having multiple muscle groups being used at the same time. So what I use this for, or rather this way, is so that my core is always engaged. Secondly, the stabilizing muscle, which is my lat, they get used to help me do my job better. Lastly, because no one is being used other than the right thing, it is 100% rear delts, 100% rear. So, first standard way of doing it, let's make sure I'm not taking my shoulders off, is the standard, which is just for my rear delts. So I'm sitting, my arms pretty much parallel to my shoulder, drop, open, hold, 1, 2. Back, don't change it, shoulders don't drop, chest is up, hold, 1, 2, and back. Keeping it the same consistent rhythm, forwards and back. Abs in control of the entire situation so that only my rear delts can be used. Right? That's number 1. The secondary version of this is when I actually allow my lats to stretch and come up into my rear delts. So my lat to get in the work as well as my rear delts. Okay? This one is for the purposes of knowing that when I stand on stage, my lats are open automatically without me having to think about it. The last version of this is when I'm tricking the audience into thinking I have a lot more muscle than what I actually do have. And that one is like a breaststroke. Same concept, a drop for the stretch, and when I come up, squeeze into my middle back. So it looks just like the swimmer. And it's called a breaststroke. Now what happens here is I'm doing my rear delts, my lats, and my middle and lower traps in one shot, as well as my warmup. So there's a whole lot of definition and detail that I'm getting from the simple act of just lowering my body. But notice it's not sloppy. So I'm not dropping, slouching. It's chest up, shoulders down and back. Body drops. When I come up, it's an actual arch. Just like if the swimmers were doing. The result is that when you turn around and you get the back shot, you get everything from your neck going completely down, developed uniform. So it's an aesthetic. It's not just, I got rear delts. It's, you have rear delts, you have traps, you have your middle traps, you have your lower traps, you have your middle back all developed. It's like an echo. It ripples in a pump, okay? So this is usually my finisher for shoulders. It can be used anytime you want. I usually put it at the end because it sucks the most. But what it does is, it's a middle delt tie-in to your front delt, and it's a complete movement because it actually utilizes your rear delt, which at this point is stabilizing for the other two muscles. So what it looks like, sadly enough, is that you're using everybody to do two movements at once. So it's a middle delt movement, which is a lateral. Rotate up, because you want to actually utilize your rotator cuffs as much as possible. Get them stronger. Completed front raise. That looks like a fly. So it's everything in one shot. So continuously, this is what it looks like. Now have fun doing this. I'm gonna just let you know, by your 7th rep, it burns like hell. Just so you know. It can be used as a warm-up. It can also be used as an ending. Wherever you drop it, it sucks. Just let me know. Alright? So here it is. It's front, middle, at one shot. Get your rear delt so you can shoot it from the back. There we go. So you can see how many things are actually being utilized in one shot.
Yep.
Your front, because this is dying. Okay, there you go. There you go. So you see, it's everything in one shot. Without you having to do heavy weight, which would technically ruin or hurt you in some way. People forget what makes your delts, period, is not technically your delts. Your delts are there, front, middle, and rear. You have 4 pins, 4 little people, the rotator cuff. Once you destroy any one of them, if you didn't take the time to properly strengthen all of them, you could take yourself out of the game for months at a time. And this is coming from someone who actually did it. So I've ruined this shoulder, as you can see when I do certain things. And I had to turn around and understand how to strengthen each part of that chain so that I can make my delts not look off. So unless you know me to know me, this is the shoulder that's ruined. But if you look at me flat on, can you really tell the difference? No, because I took the time to slow down myself. It isn't always about a press. It's about the details. All your stuff is in your detailed work. So if you get the rotator, the inside strong, you make the outside shine. Don't worry about the outside. The outside will take care of itself. If you don't have the inside strong, the outside can't shine. And that's the end of the story for shoulders, period. It could be for any body part. But your shoulders in particular, because most people get caught up in, I can bridge, I can lift, I can do, okay, great, you can do all of that. But what happens to the day when you didn't spend time creating the strength for each individual rotator cuff? And you go to bench, or you go to press, and it goes.
Yep.
Then what happens to you? Now you're out.
Yep.
Or you're unbalanced because you didn't take the time to work the details. It's always about What they say, the devil is in the details?
Sounds about right.
So there it is. That's the answer to this story. If I leave you with anything for this particular day, it's learn to slow yourself down. Don't get caught up in your ego, trying to train heavy to keep up with so-and-so who's doing. You weren't there when they were struggling with 5. You only seen them when they're doing the 50s and the 100s. You weren't there when they were struggling when you were struggling. At the 20 point, at the 10 point, at the 30 point. How did they get to the point where they were doing 100?
Right.
Learn how they got there first, and then set your groundwork. Don't chase something you don't know about.
Yeah.
Chase learning how to do the actual process. It's the process that makes you strong, not the end result.
Don't skip any steps.
Never.
Yeah. Very cool. We're gonna talk for a minute?
Yeah.
All right, Roxy. All right, Roxy. So we just attended a nice little clinic on Delts, which I love doing videos with you because just like you were telling me off camera, people are so interested in not only just seeing the pro bodybuilder training, but also learning so much about the process. And so many times they'll do something on camera, but they don't explain why they're doing it and the reason, and the fact that, of course, you train people for a living has a lot to do with it. Yeah, but you're talking to a person also, which helps as well.
It's true. But then also, I think it's not fair to let these individuals know or think that all the pros ever do is lift heavy. I know tons of pros that don't lift nearly as heavy as the magazines show them doing.
Right.
That is something that they do specifically for the magazine.
Right.
It's not always
all for show.
Yeah, it's not always what they lift.
Right.
So it's not really fair. And then you, the layman, are thinking, oh my God, I've got to go in the gym. And no, when I demonstrate, I always demonstrate with the least amount of weight because I think that is the truest way to teach people. And it stops them from going in and thinking they got to lift what I lift. Sometimes I don't even lift even when I just lifted. I lift like sometimes even less, like 2 pounds.
Yeah.
But get the most out of the 2 because I'm using proper form and proper technique, which gets you there faster than using something that's out of your range and you're just kind of hoping you get it off of you before you die.
I know that's not bodybuilding. But talk about the first video. What kind of feedback is? I know we got massive hits about it, and quickly also. I think you get like 5,000 hits in like 2-3 days. But people are still talking to you about this video.
Yeah, my God, people just not recently. Like somebody hit me up on Instagram going, "I just saw your video. Oh my God, I just got so much from it." Blah blah blah. And
that's great.
I appreciate the people who viewed it. And just want to say thank you, everybody, for liking it so much. But mostly, I hope that you learned something from it. And the reason I talk so much through my videos is because I don't want you to take it for granted that I just know everything, or I'm making this up, or there's no explanation. There's always a train of thought behind my training. And it's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's usually geared towards what you need to look like. Like, I don't train just to be training. I think that's pointless. You're just gonna spin the wheels. If you have a definitive look, a definitive idea, you should train within that idea.
Right.
So like I come in already know, okay, what do I want my delts to look like? And I work backwards from that. I don't use movements that don't have anything to do with what I want to look like.
The ultimate goal, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, you know you're gonna do rear delts, so what the hell are you doing front delts for?
Right.
If your rear delts is what you're lacking, then why are you spending so much time doing front raises?
Right.
I never understand people doing that. It drives me crazy. So I try to be as succinct and direct with what I'm doing when I'm training, which is why the routines look the way they do. Now that was just one routine.
Right.
There's like, I don't even know what the library of routines I have in my head, but it's always something different for each person. Mm-hmm. So like depending on what I think the person needs, including myself on a given day, I gear it towards what the person needs. Each person is a different human being. Right. So if you have a weakness, an imperfection, I'm trying to train you to not have the weakness or make the weakness invisible to other people. We may know it exists, but other people looking at you be like, my God, you look perfect. Yeah. Meanwhile, we both know we're lying to the world, but who cares? Yeah. As long as you look like you're perfect.
That's the whole goal.
That's right, bodybuilding.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Talk to me about your next show and the prep so far. How's it been going? I know that
it's changed.
What's to talk about the changes? Yes.
Okay, so usually at this point I'm still ahead of the game because I'm always pretty lean. But normally at this point I'm like 10 pounds lighter, and usually because I did cardio. And I'm always pretty much done by this point. But this year I decided not to do cardio and to eat clean. Now, what does that mean in terms of the regular world?
Yeah, please tell us.
Okay, so normally my prep looks like this. I eat whatever the fuck I want and just do cardio. I wind up with spectacular results, but I'm also so tiny that I had to give off something to get that dry conditioned look. And it usually comes with my cardio, which I'm not complaining about because it is what it is. And I would never change any of that because I learned a lot from it. The flip side of it is, well, what do you have to do different to look different this time around?
Right.
And that's where the challenge is. So what I did was I decided, let's not do cardio for a change. See how that works out for you. You have a naturally fast metabolism. Let's see how fast it really is. You put your money where your mouth is.
Yep.
So what I did was this time I cleaned up my app, which is huge for Roxanne. So there's a lot of clean eating involved, and clean for Roxanne really means like what it means for everybody else. So 5 meals a day or 4 meals a day, asparagus, lots of vegetables that are more diuretic in nature. Lots of protein, lots of fats. I'm not really big on the carb part because it slows down my appetite a little bit. It makes me so full that I can't eat my next meal. So these are things I discovered. As far as how it's been going, I've lost about 12 pounds since I started.
Was it tough though for you to make that switch? It's kind of.
It was difficult because usually January 1st I step out of bed, I roll out of bed and go right to cardio. It took everything in my soul January 1st to lay in bed and just go, okay,
wow,
you're not doing cardio, you're not doing cardio, you're not doing cardio, stick to the plan, stick to the plan.
Wow.
And this is an everyday occurrence because at a certain point I know what I'm supposed to look like, but I also have to know I'm looking for a different look this time. So you have to let it go and get out of your own way to see that change happen. Now, what will I say? I will say it's actually been pretty cool. A lot of intestinal fortitude on my part to not, okay, don't do the cardio. You're gonna be fine. Because that's where the real switch is. But the off part is I'm fuller, I'm just as hard, I look bigger visually, even though it's a 10-pound difference, it's 10 pounds that look visually arresting. So when I walk past mirrors, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it did work.
Wow, if you're surprising yourself, that's good.
Yeah, and the other side of the story is, which is even more funny, my waistline has changed from being 26, it's like 23 inches now.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and my quads have actually stayed where they belong this time.
Wow.
So I have fuller quads, which is something that I was lacking because of cardio.
Right.
Cardio will steal it from you.
That's right.
And most people don't realize you oh my God, you look amazing. But your size diminishes. And you can't really put your finger on it, but it's the cardio.
Of course.
Not that cardio is wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just,
but it still beats up.
it takes something from me. My energy level, way higher because I'm not doing cardio. So I have all the strength in the world at a point where I usually do not. I'm sucking wind during my routines. And my last routine, so my last leg routine, just so you know, which would have never happened if I was doing it with cardio, it was leg press, 50 reps here, 50 reps here. You go up in weight. 40 reps, 40 reps. You go up in weight. 30 reps, 30 reps. You go up in weight. 20 reps, 20 reps, you go up in weight. 10 reps, 10 reps. By the time I was done, I was at 4 plates, and I had done 300 reps.
Wow.
And I was supersetting it with a single leg hack squat.
Wow.
Something I would have never been able to do when I was doing cardio. So that's the offset. The pluses there is that my strength I've retained all my strength, and I've been able to build solid muscle and keep my conditioning at an all-time high.
Wow. Well, those are, obviously the result speaks for itself. You do look a lot fuller than I saw you last summer. And you just had competed, I think you were just done. When we saw last time.
Done.
So, wow, it's scary. It's scary to think what you're going to look like.
In like 8
how many
weeks.
8 weeks, wow.
I think 8 weeks, So I'm excited to see it because I haven't even started drying out yet.
Wow.
And I'm pretty dry as we speak.
I know.
So in 8 weeks, it's like right now, this is what we have. For 8 weeks,
I gotta take a picture of that. How you got it? Okay.
Not bad for 8 weeks.
Crazy.
And then for the back, because usually the back is where your details are.
Yeah.
This is where you want
Wow.
the back. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's not. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. That's great.
So
Yeah.
it's not like I'm way off.
No.
I'm actually, from what I've been told in my head,
Yeah.
I just gotta now toe the line and not freak myself. Like, you know how we all get crazy towards it. We're like, we gotta change something.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke,
Yeah.
don't fix it.
Yeah.
That's my words today.
All right, Roxy, thank you so much for having us today. I'm so glad we shot again.
Thank you so much for shooting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we gotta do this again. I'm gonna come back, and you need to be on my list every time. I hope you agree.
Oh yeah, please. I can't wait. Hopefully next time I'll be in better shape.
I'm sure you will be. All right, Steve. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.